got kicked up, and you know, it doesn't always put people in the best position. So sometimes I'm sad that I couldn't have done more for my mom. I did a lot for my mom, but I wish I could have been one of these people who, you know, had a house and a home and could have brought her in when she was older. She lived with my aunt, but my mom and aunt lived together, but you know, I wasn't able to reach a position where I would feel really proud to say I could bring my mom into our home and take care of her through, you know, through hospice and everything else. It wasn't really my fault. I actually worked really hard my entire life. I had to come up out of, you know, a deficit, if you will. Technically, I'm the first generation graduate. My dad went to a school, but it was a small business school, and it's kind of orchestrated in that it preps you and it sends you right to a certain workplace, and he just stayed there. I, on the other hand, have 50 million resumes, 50 million cover letters. I had to hustle for work, you know, look all over the place. Something weird happened, which, you know, I wound up experiencing something so bizarre and I guess historic. It's called gang stalking. It actually is real. Targets are not delusional. Most targets don't have the writing capability to be able to articulate what happens. In my situation, I'm a little bit luckier in that I can be able to explain specific examples. It's really hard to do when you've been scared. But anyway, point being, you know, I know my mom knew, you know, was proud of me, but still, you want to be that person who's able to provide for your parents, at least one of them. I grew up mostly with my mom. My dad had a second wife of many years. So anyway, I just needed to reach out to someone today. I haven't talked to her in maybe 2 years. It's almost 18 months, 2 years. And she's still hanging in there and sounds as strong as ever, right? As an ox. Good for her. This person who goes by Teddy, I think she lived in Spangler, PA, or something similar, or someplace similar, and she was a nurse, and she spent some time in Philadelphia during a stint or an internship or a training period where they, you know, worked in psych wards. And technically she would be a little bit pioneering-ish, considering her age. Women out in the workforce is kind of, you know, a big deal in that time period. So anyway, there she is, still there. So I'm grateful she was there to talk to and kind of lean on for a few minutes. And you know, I also worry too that, like, if you call someone out of the blue, there are tons of skeptical and people who are suspicious of why people call. And I actually genuinely call because I'm looking for, you know, a friend, if you will, even if only for a few minutes. And I know a lot of people out there, particularly people who protect older people, are afraid someone's going to ask for money. She lives in Florida, so Florida has a huge issue. I'm actually a genuine person who actually felt down today and was like, I wonder if Teddy's still doing okay. Should I call? Should I not call? And I finally called, and I'm glad I did. There were a few tears just because it's, you know, I know my mom loved her. My mom took her to the eye doctors like every other Thursday, or once a month on Thursdays, or the third Thursday of every month, or the first Thursday of every month. She said she was going to go tomorrow. So something's going on here. Oh, it's 1911, aka 9/11, here at the Russell Byers School, a charter school. But anyway, so she's there, and I was glad to have a friend to talk to. My mom used to drive her to the eye doctors, as I was saying, and she's going tomorrow, so that would be the first Thursday of the month. So that might be still her routine, sounds like. So it would have been my mom taking her. It's kind of sad how things unfolded, because you kind of wonder, you know, what happens to some people and so forth and so on. Why do some people live to, look at Jimmy Carter, he just celebrated his 100th birthday yesterday, and other people passed away earlier. Whoops. And a little divot there, a crack in the thing, sidewalk. It is kind of sad because it was unexpected that I felt like it was unexpected that my mom passed away when she did in the middle of coronavirus, July 29, 2020. Then my dad passed away like 4 or 5 months later in December of 2020, coronavirus. And then my aunt, I was living with my mom and aunt, passed away in April of 2021. And she was April 30th. It was a Hathaway month. So, anyway, it was unexpected to have 3 people just sort of pass away very quickly, and during a tenuous time period when people were, you know, told to stay indoors and only certain people could work and this, that, and the other. So, anyway, kind of wonder, like, who makes decisions in the sky and stuff like that. So when I first moved in with my mom and aunt, which was also unexpected, on one hand I was happy to be there, to be closer to my mom, you know, as she was getting older. Also, I needed a safe situation because of whatever went on here in Philadelphia. It was so bad that it's, whoa. It was bad. Kind of curious who's behind it and how many people consciously participated, and do they have any regrets. But when I first saw my mom, I was a little bit concerned because I knew that she sounded better on the phone than she looked in person. So in the past, she might have traveled here and there, you know, came up for a visit, or, you know, maybe I would go down for a visit, but some time had gone by and I would talk to her on the phone and she sounded good and healthy, but when I saw her in person, I thought, oh, you know, she didn't look as good as she sounded. So I kind of knew something was up, but anyway, that's the story with that. Let's go head on this way. We are crossing over 20th Street. I'm on Arch. Trying to get moving, which kind of helps the mood to get out of the house, apartment, what have you. If I were willing to put down money, I would love to find a really good yoga studio, but yoga really helps, you know, it's like running, yoga, these things, being active and also being around other people is incredibly helpful to keep going as social beings that we are, and also beings who need to be active to keep the mind in a better space. It does help for the schmest of us down here. It helps to exercise and keep the serotonin going. I know there are incredibly wealthy people who, for whatever reason, they refuse to do certain types of exercise because they see it as puppeting. But they're up there in the sky and they have better wavelengths. They get fed the good stuff. They don't have to worry about money and stuff like that. Ironically, they don't have to pay for